because I gave a talk a few years ago at a function where it was a kind of also similar thing where there were actually graduates that had received bursaries from this NGO. And they were saying, well, come and talk to these guys, you know, these young students have graduated and we've sponsored them over the years, now they're going to work in an official environment. So I think the important thing I made to them, I said, you know what guys, you have benefited from this, so please give back to the organization that funded you. So another 50 people or 100 people could be sponsored. Because money is never enough, you know, that's just a fact of life. You know, so it's important that once you qualify, once you've graduated, once you've gained a lot of knowledge, you say, what can I do to give back? And that's, I think, important. What I'm saying to you is the message I'm giving to you is to think further beyond just graduating tonight as to what can I do differently. You know, I mean, about 5 or 6 years ago, in fact, this is another reason why I remembered or thought about this entrepreneurship school. A friend of mine said to me, like, I've got my son who's 12 years old, but he doesn't know much about business. And I've got other friends who've got sons up to 18 years old. Let's start something. So we had 6 of our sons in one room. And what the brief was to these 6 boys, it just so happened to be 6 boys, there were no girls. That you've got us behind you. We're going to be sitting in the back and watching you. And you 6 guys must get together and decide on what business you can start to make yourself a lot of money. Okay? We will give you, once we're satisfied that your concept is the right concept, we'll each give you 10,000 Rand to start your own business. Yeah? And this program started very sort of strongly, and it went on for about 6 months, because in the end, for whatever reason, it just disbanded. And I think that unfortunately in business, I'll just give you the reasons, that unfortunately in business, each of the people have different agendas. And sometimes it's not transparent. And that's what you learn the hard way. Now, I didn't realize initially what was the agenda, because you can't be naive when you go into business. But there was this guy that I knew. In fact, I wouldn't ever call him a friend. I knew him, but he wasn't like a friend. I got to know him over the years, and I don't necessarily see him anymore. But his main objective was to get to know the chairman of the company which he was targeting. Okay? He was targeting that company. And he thought, what better way of getting to know that chairman by inviting his son and this guy's son to be together, and they will get to know each other through the process. You know? But the concept was brilliant. I mean, you know, it's such a fashion that the kids learned a lot. They came up with great ideas about racing and hiring the soccer field for putting out cars that are on display and getting the car dealerships to pay them fee. They came up with great ideas. But the thing is that they are obviously hidden agendas. And that's what ended up that concept failed. But the key thing is that it was a process of learning. I mean, I know in fact it went even beyond getting to know the person. He actually sent the guy a Rolex watch as a gift. Yeah. You know, to try and get to know him better, and that gift was returned very quickly. The fact of the matter is, business is different out there to what you learn at university, what you may necessarily have learned in this program. End of the day, you've got to be streetwise. So from my perspective, I'm just saying to you guys, well done. Congratulations on what you've achieved thus far. But just remember, it's a lot more broader concepts and a lot more challenges out there in business. You may be in, let's say, majority you're in the profession, and you do have people that that can support you or supervise you and that sort of thing. But once you're out there on your own, you've got to be streetwise. You've got to be able to duck and dive and take a few punches in the process and come up on top. And that's what it is about, you know. What you learn today is just the foundation. And what you're going to learn in the future is where you're going to be able to be streetwise and to succeed in challenging environments. And I think the important thing in all sorts of circumstances is be transparent. Don't forget your values. You know, the values are fundamental. And that's what's important. And what you've learned today will take you to another level. But there's always no stopping. I think the ultimate thing is that when you learn, even with me, I've been in the profession now 31 years, you still learn every day. You know? And that's important, is to continue that process. And I think all of you have a diverse level of experience. I mean, if Nosisa shared some of her experiences in the forensic field, you'll know what kind of challenges she faces. I think the important thing is that we have to share knowledge. You've had an opportunity together to get to know each other. You have a common goal to learn and to develop yourselves. And I think that's what you've achieved over the last few months. I mean, how long is it now? 6 to 9 months or how long? But at least you now have your Saturdays off. You can sleep longer. And there's no more assignments to worry about. And I think the fact that you've been invited here today means you're going to graduate. So from our side again, as KPMG, we're really proud to be part of this process and to support you guys and really congratulate you once again and wish you all the best in your careers and hope you have a fantastic Christmas and a great 2012 and beyond that with all the knowledge you have. And don't forget us in the future. I mean, if you need help, please don't hesitate to contact the team. I think well done, and you to your, let's say, board members, Gugu, and to Tanti as well. But I think back to the board of 1994. I mean, and the guys that I worked with. I mean, Cesare was the president at that time. Ignatius Suholi was there, as Peter Moya was the treasurer. And Junaid Waja was there. I mean, I'm trying to think now, Gloria Sarube. There were a number of, I mean, you look at them today and they've all got really high positions. So it's important for you to also get involved in the Abasa executive and also give back in that process as well. So finally, well done and thank you for coming to Manuka and congratulations on all your achievements. Okay.
Moving on with the program, I'd like to introduce now Belinda Knight, USBED, is going to come
in. Because everybody else has started with the story around how we got to be running the LPLDP, I want to just add a little bit to that, if I may. Because I was saying to Tanti earlier, Gugu, Tanti, Tsakani and I sat in a little office, in a very cramped office, in the Regis building out in Bryanston. And we said, what is it we wanted to achieve here? Why would we even look at running this program? And it took us a while to put it together. And then when we finally did put it together, Tsakani, Gugu, and Tanti were all on the program to give it a test before you guys had an opportunity to go through it. So I think it is well tested before we ran it this year. And I've just, unlike the two gentlemen, my brain is not as fresh as theirs. I've obviously worked a lot harder this year. So, so I've just written a few words that I want to share with you guys. I want to start off with a little bit of a quote. And the quote is this. It's from a guy called Henry Thoreau. And he says, if you build castles in the air and dreams, your dreams need not be lost. That is where they should be, in the air. But now it's time to put foundations under them. So when you started the castles in the air, when you came to the orientation day, you must have thought, gee, this is easy, this is going to be a great journey, castles in the air, here's a dream, I wanted to study, wanted to do the ELDP. I don't know how long it took you to find out that maybe it wasn't as easy and simple as you thought it was. So you all embarked on this learning journey, and I know that there were some highs, some lows, and lots of team dynamics. But consider this, you made it, you're here, you're sitting here. So through all of that, you made it here. And as I listened to your personal learnings this morning, I realized just how far you've come and how much you've all grown. I met you at the first feedback loop, and I haven't had a chance to interact with you again, but Ken, as your LPF, has kept me informed. And I saw the growth in each of you today as you stood up there and you presented. The confidence and the passion that you displayed in your presentations, particularly with some of the really tough questions that you had to manage, and you stood your ground. I think for the growth and development, to be able to do that has been absolutely huge. And I don't know if you always see it at the time, but you can speak to Gugu and Tanti and say, when you reflect back 6 months from now, you'll just see the journey that you have been on and just how far you've come. So now what? Okay? How do you now take and build a foundation under the dream? You build on this knowledge that you have, this confidence, this passion, and you continue to grow and contribute, firstly to yourselves, to your communities, your organization in Abasa, and to our country. I have to say, I'm sorry, I get a bit emotional, I can't believe this, I don't do so many speeches, but I have such a sense of pride in being associated with the BAS and what a BAS stands for, and what you guys have achieved over this past year. It's a privilege being part of the presentations this morning and being part of this program. And as Jay Shalila said this morning, you said the hard work is over, but our journey has just begun. And that's exactly what was alluded to now. This is done. This is gone. Now the hard work starts. So finally, let me just say to you from USB Ed, congratulations on your success in 2011. Thank you.
If you check your program now, I think it's time, for our 9th viewer, the delegate, who's going to come and give us a bit of their gin.
I'm trying to reach. I don't know if it's working or not. As you were speaking, Belinda, a couple of you said some things that I felt, oh my gosh, I'm going to be so embarrassed to get up here and share what my actual experience was. Belinda spoke about how the castle was in the air and now we had to build a foundation, and how when we got to the program, we understood that there was a lot of work to be done and we were zealous and we were going to do it and everything. Actually, for me, it didn't quite work out like that. I was working in the Eastern Cape, a client of mine in the Eastern Cape, when I got a call from our HR manager saying, you have training, Tini, you have training on Thursday. I thought, okay, I'm going to come to Joburg, I'm going to go for training on Thursday, and then Friday, I'm sorting myself out and I'm shipping myself back to the Eastern Cape. And then I got to the class on the first day of the class, and a gentleman by the name of Modisa walks in. Modisa starts talking about student numbers. I'm getting very confused. I'm thinking, no, I'm here for 1 day training. It's going to last a couple of hours and then I'm going to go home. It progresses and I realize, oh my God, I'm in school. Nobody told me. I called, I remember, I don't know if you recall Ken, I called Ken aside and I said, Ken, I didn't quite sign up for this. Hey, I don't know if really this, I don't know if I was really in the right frame of mind to be going to school. And Ken says, stick it out, see what happens. And I'm like, yeah, maybe. It's ironic that today I'll be standing here addressing you on graduation when I didn't even think I'd be at school at all. But altogether, it's been quite the journey. I appreciated what you said about the fact that you wanted to do something for the professionals. Because oftentimes what happens is, as you all know, our profession is very well attuned and there is a focus and you know where you're getting to, you know how to get there, and there's always someone to keep you up to tack. Are you keeping up? And then suddenly you get to where you wanted to get to, and then it's quiet. And it's like the wind that's always been there, and the passion, and this is the direction. Nobody says anything. And suddenly you're trying to find yourself. And through programs like these, there is a sense of ignition that happens. You ignite something in us. In each and every one of us, there is something that has begun through this program and what we have achieved and learned through this program that we will take forward. We will go through it in different directions and we will go and aspire to different things. But the most important thing that I would like to thank USB and Abasa for is that you have ignited something in us. It is for us now to carry the torch, to carry forward and see what we do with it. And perhaps who else's life will light up. Now for my team, I learned a couple of things. The dynamics, really. Our name was even dynamics because there's so many dynamics in that team. First of all, I'd like to thank you guys for putting up with me. From the different people, let's see. From Piyush. I learned that it doesn't take an aggressive person to become an assertive person. From Zola, I learned a lot about being black. From Ketiwe, I learned that there's a lot to be said for stepping back and looking at the detail. And you can always